What's up, everybody? It's the Sweet Sea, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about a very controversial topic. RMC and Hersheypark, the two names combined, usually cause a lot of controversy, and that's not what I'm here to start, just to clarify. I did want to talk about something that has been catching my eye so much ever since people have started talking about RMC Wildcat this and RMC Wildcat that. I just wanted to discuss another point that people have made of what they would rather Hersheypark do instead of RMCing Wildcat. Now, to preface, I am very, very huge on RMCing Wildcat. I think it's a great idea. I think the coaster needs it. I think everyone agrees that the coaster would be better off if it was RMC'd. I think a lot of people just want to hold on to the history of the ride, the fact that it is the first GCI and it is connected to Nick Pantalone's name are two very huge things that are keeping that coaster kind of alive in the state that it is right now. However, I do think that it would be better if it was RMC'd. Doesn't matter though, because that's actually not the thing that I want to discuss today. Before we do get into what I want to discuss today, I really would suggest if you could please subscribe to the sweetest Hersheypark community. Here at the Sweet Sea, we provide with lots of discussions, great cinematic footage of the park, lots of different Hersheypark content-based videos. And if you haven't caught up with some of our Did You Know shorts, I highly suggest you do that as well. But please subscribe, spend your time here with us. It's a great time. All right, anyways, let's get into my topic that I want to discuss. What I really want to discuss right now is RMCing Lightning Racer. So many people, I've seen comments all over the internet talking about how we should RMC Lightning Racer. It'll make it such a better ride. And of course, I think RMCing any wooden coaster for the most part, there's probably a few exceptions out there, but I think RMCing most wooden coasters is a great idea. That doesn't mean I want all of the coasters out there to be RMC'd, because I do think that wooden coasters have their place in the roller coaster world and in theme parks and, you know, the lineup and everything. They're their own thing. And I don't think RMCs should be like the replacement of that. I just want to preface that. I strongly disagree with the fact that people want RMC to convert Lightning Racer to a hybrid or whatever. I think that Lightning Racer is standing its ground still. For those of you who don't know, it was built in 2000 and was the first racing dueling roller coaster. It definitely has a record to its name. That's not the reason why I think that it should stay, but I think that this coaster still holds up to the way it was when it opened. I still find a fair amount of joy in riding this coaster. It's always so much fun to ride, and I've never really understood why people think that it should get RMC'd versus the state that it's in, especially when Wildcat is right next door and actually needs it. Smoothness wise, if we're going to compare the two coasters, I think we could all agree that Wildcat is definitely I don't like to say rough because that also sparks a bit of controversy, but a little rumbly than Lightning Racer. Lightning Racer is your classic kind of feeling wooden coaster in terms of smoothness. Rumbly enough that you can tell that it's a wooden coaster, but it's not uncomfortable. I would dare say that Wildcat is becoming an uncomfortable experience for people to ride. I've heard so many people get off of that ride and say, wow, I have a headache, or I have a migraine, or feel like I just broke my back, something like that, you know? You don't ever hear people getting off of Lightning Racer saying that. Everybody's talking about how they won or lost, and, you know, how the other people in their group on the other train, like, are losers, you know, the typical Lightning Racer banter. You never hear people saying about how rough the coaster is, and I think that's simply because it's not a rough coaster. Roughness and fixing it for that reason, I think that's out of the question. The ride experience, I think, is still really great. There are so many moments during the ride where it's just like, this is amazing. Like, the speed that it has is great. I love the pacing. There's so many times where you reconnect with the other train. So especially like you're running side by side up the lift hill, staggered a little bit, of course, but you're running side by side at that point. I'll say this about Lightning Racer, okay? Lightning Racer would absolutely benefit from an RMC treatment. I don't think that it needs it, and I don't think that realistically the park would go with something like that. If we're talking from a business standpoint, Wildcat is definitely the attraction that receives less people there. I know there's definitely been times where Wildcat will have a line, Lightning Racer will not, and I do think that's because Lightning Racer is two coasters in one, and so that capacity capacity is doubled, Wildcats is not. So that's why I don't think that's a fair argument, is to say, well, you know, Wildcat has a longer line. No, I don't think that that's a reasonable argument there. If Hersheypark did decide to RMC a coaster, it would have to be Wildcat. And I think that it's purely because of the attendance to that ride compared to the other wooden coasters. We're not even going to talk about RMCing Comet. That is not an option here, and I refuse to believe that Hersheypark would actually go through an RMCing Comet. I think that would be pretty crazy if they actually decided to do that. It would be a plot twist for sure, but RMCing Wildcat would definitely be the way to go. I don't even know where it started that people thought Lightning Racer could potentially get converted to an RMC. I absolutely think that there's a possibility of it. However, realistically, and I'm purely speaking of realistics here and trying to put my opinion aside, I think Lightning Racer is a standalone ride. I don't think that it needs any work done to it. I don't think that it needs to be improved in any way. And it's kind of a staple at the park. People always ask, you know, where's the racing one? You know, things like that. And it's because it is iconic in its own way, and I don't think that it needs to have anything done to it. I do think Midway America in itself needs a new attraction. That area of the park has been pretty scarce of a new ride in quite some time, and that's pretty much because they don't have much more space. The only space that I can think of for them to add like a new attraction is back where the Midway tent is. I don't really think that they're using the Midway tent anymore, so they could definitely add maybe a flat ride or two in that area back there and get the crowds going back in that direction, kind of where Mary Dairy Dip Fun Slides was. I think that would be a great spot for a new attraction. However, if they want to use the space that they already have built up, I think their best bet for a new big star attraction is going to be converting Wildcat into an RMC. I don't think that converting Lightning Racer makes sense. It doesn't hit with me. I know some of you out there are watching this thinking, I think they could totally do it. And I think that they could. Like I said, I don't think it's realistic. So that's kind of where I stand on that whole controversy of Lightning Racer. I'm curious as to what you guys think about it. So please let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the potential of Hersheypark RMCing Lightning Racer? I'm interested to hear. What are your opinions? Write them in the comments below. Please make sure that you have subscribed and liked this video. Give us some support and show your sweet love out there. And we'll see you guys in the next video.